You're watching your local television network, TSPN. And now back to Today's Seniors Living Well with your host, Laurie Webb.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the final episode of Today's Seniors Living Well for our spring series, Aging Shouldn't Have to Be a Puzzle. And as we talked about last week, one of the most puzzling things about not just being a senior, but being a citizen these days is all the fraud that's going on. And it's rampant in every kind of aspect. We had a speaker on Medicare fraud a few weeks ago. And last week, Todd Riebe, our wonderful district attorney, was here. And we ran out of time to talk about all the things that Todd wants to educate people about. So he took time out of his schedule to come back today. So thank you very much,
Thank you,
Todd.
Laurie. It's a pleasure.
It's great to have you back.
Well, today, last time was workers' compensation and fraud, and this time it's going to be life insurance fraud and annuity fraud. And it's a big problem. About 40% of the elder abuse that's committed against our seniors is related to financial fraud in some way. And when we talk about life insurance fraud, what we're talking about, or life insurance, of course, is when you die, some or all of your income that you had during life is given to your family. Mm-hmm. Annuity fraud, a little bit different, or what a life annuity is you get a lump sum payment upon death, but mm-hmm. then there are tax-deferred benefits that are distributed to the client during life. So those are the two different kinds of insurance that are involved here. And what is a fraud? The fraud is lying to get your money. Basically, broken down to its simplest aspects, it's lying to get your money, and the variety of ways that fraudsters do that. And
so the salesperson is lying to people.
They're lying about, it could be a fake policy, mm-hmm. It could be a non-existent insurance company, it could be stealing insurance premiums, it could be slipping you coverage that you didn't ask for, but you got to pay for. You're on the hook. And so even if it's 100 or 200 more to your premium price, that's a lot of money for somebody who's living on a fixed income.
Indeed.
And you add that up incrementally, they're making a lot of money, which is why they do this kind of stuff. Selling you coverage that you didn't want and that you don't need, mm-hmm. But they're making it sound very attractive that you can't live without it. You got to have it. They're appealing to your emotions,
right.
Using pressure tactics, or saying things like, "This is a last chance offer. If you don't do it now, it's gone because I can't offer this again."
Right. Right.
That should set your warning bells
light,
off.
Yeah, flashing. Yeah. And so annuities, I mean, I've certainly heard a lot about them, but they really are confusing, and they're really pushed very hard, even by some people that we consider, legitimate, good folks. But they're not for everybody.
No, they're not for everybody. One of the common tactics that they use is like, let's ditch your old life insurance, let's ditch your old annuity, and let's get some new life insurance or a new annuity or some other kind of investment. And that should get you thinking, too, because typically life insurance policies and annuities are worth more over time as they mature. So ditching them for something new, you really should pause and ponder that, mm-hmm. talk to some friends, talk to some family, mm-hmm. before you go make a decision like that, because mm-hmm. that could be a very expensive mistake.
Right. And there's so many products out there. How does somebody, like a lot of baby boomers and younger seniors, their approach, the minute you get your Medicare card or the minute you go on Social Security, you start getting the calls from people, do you want to try this? Do you want to have that? Life insurance we actually should have bought earlier in our lives.
Right.
So, but I've had one salesman tell me, but Laurie, you're going to live to be 90 or 100. You don't have any life insurance. You really need to buy a product. Well, I'm 66 years old. What's the benefit?
Our seniors are inundated
mm-hmm.
with mail. They're inundated with phone calls. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think is a tip is if you're being contacted unsolicited, they're calling you on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the typical way that business is done like that. And that's, again, something that should set your warning bells off. They're calling you, maybe your number is unlisted, so this is like a robocall that they're doing to try to pick somebody off.
Or worse, they've been reading the obituaries and they call the widows.
Right, exactly.
That's just
that's reprehensible.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Some tips I can give some folks is that if they claim to be an insurance agent or somebody who's selling you an annuity, claims to be from Medicare, or Social Security, or some other governmental agency, they're lying. The government can't sell you insurance. If they're saying that, they're breaking the law. And that conversation should be over immediately. Or if you're a little bit inquisitive and you want to help out law enforcement, try to get some contact information and call the district attorney's office at 209-223-6444, because what they're doing is they're breaking the law. And we need to catch those folks and get them to stop.
And sometimes, if you ask them for a phone number, they'll hang up. But sometimes they will. They think they've got you hooked.
Yes.
And they want to talk to you some more, so it'd be useful to have that number.
Yes, it would, because we can find out maybe that we can contact them. Maybe they're not in some remote country, and they're actually here local and are setting up shop maybe temporarily, but enough time for us to be able to apprehend them. Another thing that you should look for is motor club memberships, accidental death coverage, and guaranteed renewable life insurance. These are three policies that are rampant, have the potential to be rampant with fraud.
Oh my!
And crooks sell. They're legitimate sales too, but these are the ones where most often it's not legitimate.
So if it's not like a nationally known company like AAA or United Insurance or something like that, if it's just somebody that calls you up and says, I can get you a better deal than Geico.
Well, call around. Again, you have a support network. Use it. Call your friends. Talk to your family. Know what you're buying. Don't be pressured ever. If you feel pressured, that's not the agent for you.
Right.
Stop. Find somebody else.
Right.
Don't make a decision rationally because you feel you're being arm twisted. If they're appealing to your emotions, that's not very good either.
No.
I mean, that's that's another sign that maybe this isn't right for you. Always verify their license status for that agent and that company. You can call the California Department of Insurance. Their toll-free hotline number is 1-800-927-4357. You can, again, the California Department of Insurance toll-free hotline, 1-800-927-4357. See if they're licensed. They will have, same thing with contractors. If they've had incidences where they've been suspended or there have been disciplinary activity that's been taken against them for their conduct, that's going to be on there. And that will be another, if they're not listed at all.
You wonder,
then you've done your due diligence. And you've avoided being, a victim.
And the Department of Insurance has a website also.
Yes.
That's pretty user-friendly.
Yeah, they have. They also have a fraud hotline. And you can also contact the District Attorney's Office at www.stopworkcompfraud.org. The same person who does our workers' comp program, Janelle Crandall, also does the life insurance and annuity fraud.
Oh, that's good.
And so, she'll get right on that. So we're doing what we can to try to get the word out. When we have this downturn economy, the fraudsters come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the seniors are prime victims for this kind of activity.
And even smart, knowledgeable seniors, because it's so complicated. It's really puzzling to people, because there are, these legitimate life insurance policies, legitimate annuities. So making the distinction between the two can be really challenging.
There are tactics that are used. My dad fell victim to this when he was young and vibrant. Again, he's passed away now, but I remember him getting, there was a class action for fraudulent tactics that were used. He bought insurance, or was persuaded to buy insurance he didn't need, periodically along the way for life insurance. So, he just didn't think that he would be taken advantage of. But where there's money to be made,
people will find ways to take advantage.
That's right.
And now, I know that a lot of legitimate insurance folks, and we've had, some of the local folks on this show in the past, and there's a lot of good, honest people out there trying to help people with insurance and what have you. And sometimes they want to do a general education thing, so they'll offer a free seminar or, a class or a lunch or something. And if someone goes to that, what kinds of things should they be listening to? If it's not a local person that you know, what kind of things should they be listening for? The same things you've talked about? Yeah,
I mean, if it's... I think that they need to again, are they trying to get them to buy insurance that they don't want or they don't need? Are they using pressure tactics? Are they talking about last chance? There's a window of opportunity here. You got to seize it right now, today, or in the next couple weeks, or it'll be gone. Or trying to persuade you to get something that you've already done your research on, and it's not something that you're looking into. There are very legitimate insurance agents in this community, and I know most of them.
Right, and they won't be afraid to have their name turned in.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about a minority, but unfortunately, people that if you don't pay attention, you could become a victim. Yeah.
Todd, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you.
And don't be afraid to call our district attorney. He's very user-friendly.
Thank you. Thank you, Laurie.
Stay tuned. We're going to be having a couple more really terrific guests.